I've spent millions on Google Shopping ads alone. I can tell with absolute certainty that 90% of brands are optimizing their product feeds completely wrong. They're drowning in 20 different attributes and they're obsessing over these additional layers and all these labels, all these images, while their core data is fundamentally broken. To be honest, guys, I reckon we've audited 500 e-commerce brands' product feeds in the last 2 years alone, and we see the same 3 critical gaps every single time. And the thing is, guys, it's not hard to fix. A lot of people overcomplicate this stuff. These are just the base elements that Google uses to basically make decisions about where and when to show your products. Every other optimization comes after these. By the end of this video, you're gonna walk away and know where to put your efforts, and you're gonna know exactly where to put your energy first when it comes to optimizations, and to get maximum ROAS without wasting all this fucking ad spend. And on top of that, all this ad spend, just wasting all this fucking time as well. So here's basically the hierarchy when it comes to the Google's algorithm and how it actually works. So most advertisers get this completely wrong. So step 1, Google must understand your product. Nothing happens until that happens. That's first priority. It's not creative. It's not your audience signals, not your bidding strategy. Google needs to know what you're selling before you can do anything. Once it then understands your product, then it matches that understanding to the user intent. Only after those 2 things happen does creative optimization even come into play. For example, a poorly structured title means Google literally can't match your fucking product to the right queries because it doesn't have the language it needs. The algorithm is getting better every year at finding customers for you, but its entire ability to do that is dependent on the quality of the product data that you guys give it. It's garbage in, then it's fucking garbage out. Google's ad platform and Google's ad algorithm is entirely dependent on you giving it just clean, structured, precise product data. So your feed is the blueprint for the entire campaign. If the blueprint is wrong, the whole building is going to fucking collapse. So let's obviously fix your blueprint. So I would say the first non-negotiable is strategic title optimization. Your product title is your #1 ranking ad relevant signal within Shopping and Performance Max. And this is where most of the matching happens between your product and obviously someone's search query. The key thing here is you need to understand how a customer actually searches for your product, and you need to have a matching title to catch that search behavior. A bad example title is this: on Cloud 5, all black, US 10.5. A good example is this one: Reebok Flexagon Energy TR4 men's shoes in black gray. And then it's got the size as well. The difference is one is a basic description that's obviously missing critical information. It's poor structure. The other tells both Google and the user exactly what the fucking product is: brand, model, product type, even the size, all in a logical order already. There's a difference between, a title that gets you clicks and conversions versus one that really just leaves a fuck ton of money on the table. Here's what you need to know when it comes to product titles. A quick way to find out what terms you want to put in your titles is really through the use of your search terms data within your ad account. So go into your Google Ads account right now or after this video, click into any shopping PMax campaign, go into insights and reports, then your search terms. Look at what queries are actually converting. So here we have a few: wood panels, flooded, fluted wood panels. And what you want to do is use this within your titles, as you can see, right? We're putting fluted wooden panels within the titles, in the actual shopping ad as well. Here in the shopping title, just to show you this product with this specific product listing, it actually has the highest number of clicks too, because we've used this strategy. So that's sort of a quick way for you to find out what terms you want to be putting within your titles. So here's what you need to know about title structure. So the first 30 to 70 characters are actually what show up within the snippet. This is what the shoppers see. So Google cuts titles after roughly 70 characters, but that doesn't mean you should just stop at 70 characters. The more information you give Google, the better. So you need to front load your most important keywords. With the titles, you want to lead with what people are actually typing into Google. So in this example here, the wooden wall petition, room divider. So all these things that could potentially be terms that people are searching on Google. You also need to structure titles differently based on product category and search behavior. So for a branded item like this example here, where the brand is the primary search driver, you got to think like Apple, Nike, Samsung. You want to lead with the brand name. Or if you're a big brand like this, Camper Van Builders, you will lead with the brand name at the start, but still include all the product specifications that we mentioned earlier. More information, the better. For generic items where brand isn't really the primary driver, so I think you're still a growing brand, or it might be a commodity item that a lot of stores are selling, you want to think about capturing the highest relevance of the search. So the brand wouldn't be the primary driver here. You'd be thinking luxury wooden wall partition, or if you're selling electronics, maybe wireless earbuds or yoga mat, you want to lead with the product category, and I'd say the key benefits. And then at the end, include the brand if it's relevant. And that's an important one, because if your brand doesn't matter, then just load it up with specifications of the benefits and product and stuff like that. So just a few things here to mention. Never use all caps in titles. Never use excessive punctuation like exclamation marks or asterisks or anything like that. Google's algorithm fucking hates that shit, and it will hurt your visibility. So you just keep it clean, descriptive, and focused on what the product actually is. One more thing about titles that almost nobody talks about is different products categories have different optimal title structures. So you can't just copy and paste the same title structure across your entire catalog. You need to think about search intent by category. When someone's searching for a specific electronic device, they're often searching by model. When someone's searching for, let's say, a yoga mat, they're going to be searching for material, by thickness, all that stuff. So match your title structure to how people actually search for that category of product. Getting this right will ensure, let's say, shopping and PMax have just the best possible signal to work with from the very start. So moving on to point number 2, this is what I call attribute accuracy. This adds onto the foundation that we spoke about earlier with your titles. And this one here, we're talking about GTIN, brand, product category. An attribute called identifier exists. Boring stuff, but they form the core data layer that Google uses to categorize your products and match them against their entire search ecosystem. Anyways, let's start with GTIN. The impact of incorrect GTINs is something most brands don't fully appreciate. A wrong GTIN, guys, doesn't just cause a warning in the Google Merchant Center. It actively prevents your product from being matched in high value comparison searches. Because when a user searches by a specific model, number, or scans, say scans a barcode, Google looks for that exact GTIN. If yours is missing or incorrect, you're going to be invisible in those moments. It's like having an unlisted phone number in a digital phone book. If your products legitimately don't have GTINs, think handmade items, vintage products, or custom goods and stuff like that. That's obviously fine, but if you're selling a product that is mass manufactured, you should definitely include it. Also, if your product doesn't have a GTIN, but you do have other unique identifiers like SKU and item group ID, you can set identifier exists to yes, and you can set this via supplemental feeds or feed rules in Merchant Center. And this one fix alone can unlock huge chunks of just inventory that might have been underperforming for you. The brand data you have on your product listing is equally critical. If you're missing or you have incorrect brand data, it fucking destroys your ability to just compete directly against your competitors. When someone searches for Nike running shoes, Google needs to see Nike clearly in your brand attribute to confidently show your product. If it's blank or suspicious, you're going to instantly lose that entire segment of high intent traffic. And here's a super common issue we see with Shopify stores specifically. The vendor field gets misused as the brand field. So make sure you're mapping the correct field. It's usually a custom meta field or specific product attribute, not the vendor, just something to keep in mind. Now let's clarify product type versus Google's product category, because there's a lot of confusion here. So product type is your internal categorization. It's what you use for segmentation and reporting with your campaigns. You can make this whatever you want. It's for you. But Google's product category is Google's standardized sort of sorting system. There are over 6,000 categories in Google's ecosystem, and they're very specific. But here's the good news. If your products have valid GTINs, Google will often auto assign the most relevant product category for you. You can literally leave that field blank in your feed and Google handles it. But product type should always be manually mapped and used for your strategic custom labels. I'll give you an example. Let's say you sell outdoor gear. Your Google product category might be sporting goods, outdoor, recreation, and then maybe camping and hiking, then tents. But your product type might be winter camping, 4-season tents. So the product type gives you the ability to segment and bid differently on 4-season tents versus summer tents, because Google product category just helps Google understand where your product fits in the broader marketplace. Basically, if you're using product variants or you have multiple listings of the same product, you might have different colors or different use cases. You basically want to make sure you're using the ID attribute consistently, and this ensures that the reviews are shared across your product family. So you have social proof across your different sizes, products, all that stuff. Colors or configurations of the same base product. Here I want to show you, even though it's two product variants, they're sharing the same social proof. And this is key. Social proof is fucking massive, guys. If you want to stand out on the Google search results page or Google shopping, you want to be having those that social proof. Now, there's a hidden cost when brands skim over this part. It's boring, but it's incredibly important. Products with incomplete attributes do get lower visibility and higher cost per click. They show up less frequently in relevant searches, and when they do show up, they perform way worse because Google isn't confident about what they are. So here's obviously a quick audit framework you can do right now are, I'd say go to your Google Merchant Center, click on products and go all products and go diagnostics. Filter for approved with warnings. Look specifically for items missing GTIN, items missing brand identifier underscore exists issues, category mismatches or missing. I'd say fix those first. Start with your highest spending products because you don't need to fix every single product in your catalog today. That's overwhelming and probably unnecessary. So fix the top 20% of products by spend, and that's where you're going to see immediate impact. The third non-negotiable is feed cleanliness, image quality, and strategic segmentation. So this is about removing the friction and the noise that silently sort of drains your budget while making sure the images and other assets you have drive as much results as possible on your Google Shopping ad. So look, obviously Shopping and PMax are trying to optimize across your entire catalog. They're wasting impressions on $0 gift cards, out of stock items, or products with bad images. That's obviously budget that could have gone to the best sellers or new customers, or could have gone to your winners. And this is where the feed cleanliness comes into play. The first step is identifying and excluding the junk, and every single feed has junk in it. So SKUs, sample products, gift cards, zero price items, products you don't have to basically advertise. To clean this up, here's obviously a few tips. I'd set up feed rules or filters just to automatically remove these. You can do this with feed rules in your merchant center or at the source in your e-commerce platform. One thing to remember is that a clean feed leads to precise performance data, and this leads to Google's algorithm making better choices for your ad account when it pushes your ads. Now, let's move on to images because this is absolutely crucial for click-through rates. Your product images need to be clear, high quality, and show the product from the right angle. Google prefers images with white backgrounds for standard shopping placements. That's just obviously a fact, but you should absolutely test lifestyle images as well because they often perform significantly better for certain product categories and niches. Think fashion, home goods, food products, fitness and health. Lifestyle images crush it for these categories. Use the additional image link attribute to showcase multiple angles or use cases. This gives Google more options to test, and it can significantly improve your click-through rates. So as you can see, this is a traditional white background image for shopping ads, but if you scroll down, as you can see, I've added a bunch of additional image links that Google can then use in the shopping ads. And just to show you guys what this looks like, you open it, you see we may have a few lifestyle image variations there. Whether it's walking on the beach, chilling on the wall, lifestyle images can absolutely crush it for different categories. And if you're not testing it, you're likely leaving a lot of money on the table. You know, we've ran some tests and we've seen lifestyle images 2x, sometimes even 3x the click-through rate. So moving on, AI image generation. These tools are also getting good enough to create compelling lifestyle images. I've seen brands use Midjourney. Internally, we've used Nano Banana, Google's platform. Is it always as good as a professional shoot? Yes, it can be. Is it 10x better than a shitty white background photo taken on a fucking iPhone 6? 100%. Now, let's obviously talk about the difference between the feed rules and supplemental feeds. You can use feed rules to automatically remove products with zero prices, amend text to titles, set custom labels based on conditions, transform data without touching your source feed. Now, these are great for ongoing maintenance. Supplemental feeds, on the other hand, are manual overrides that you create, usually in Google Sheets, that sit on the top of your primary feed. Here's an example of a feed rule we have. It'll alter sets of attributes. Not only does it apply rules, but you can set values from your feeds. These are for ongoing maintenance. Supplemental feeds, on the other hand, are manual overrides you create in Google Sheets that sit on top of your primary feed. So here's when you'd use a supplemental feed. Let's say your e-commerce platform generates shitty titles automatically, and you can't easily change how titles are generated at the source. You can download your existing product data as a CSV, open it in Google Sheets, modify only the titles that you want to change, delete all the columns except for ID and title, upload it as a supplemental feed to the Google Merchant Center. Now, Merchant Center will use your original feed for all the data, but override the titles with what's in your supplemental feed. And guys, this is incredibly powerful for testing title variations or fixing attribute issues on specific products without rebuilding your entire fucking feed. Now, I do want to mention one last thing here, which is custom labels for segmentation. I won't cover all of it. I've spoken about this in other videos quite a lot, but you can use custom labels to create segments. Then you create asset groups or even entire separate Performance Max campaigns, targeting these segments with different ROAS targets and different creative strategies. For example, you might have Performance Max campaign targeting high margin bestsellers with a 4x ROAS target and premium creative Performance Max. Performance Max campaign, clearance products with a 1.5x ROAS target focused purely on liquidation. You're using custom labels to segment your product catalog strategically, and this just helps you have more control over automated campaigns like PMax. This is the difference between letting the algorithm do whatever it fucking wants to with your ad account versus giving the algorithm strategic direction. You're still letting it optimize, but you're setting the guardrails up. At the end of the day, guys, focus focusing on these 3 fundamental areas will have more impact on your shopping and performance max performance than any other optimization you could do right now. So here's what I want you to do after this video, just ASAP. You want to go to your merchant center, run a diagnostics report, look at approved with warnings, identify your top 20 products by spend, check if they have title issues, GTIN issues, or just brand issues, fix them today. Then work through the rest of your feeds systematically over the next few days to weeks. If you want us to do an audit of your ad account, I can show you exactly what I'm talking about within your ad account, and I can show you exactly where your biggest opportunities are. We offer free strategy sessions for brands, free audits of your ad account. Happy to chat. And I'll walk through your feed, identify the gaps, and show you exactly where the quick wins are hiding. You know, there's no bullshit. I'm not going to do sales, so no sales pitch, just a real audit with real recommendations.